Good morning. Let's just cut that intro short. I hope you are doing well today. Yes, we jumped right into it. Welcome to Midweek Motivation Live with your host, Patrick Lee. That's me, where faith meets action. Average is not an option. Let me ask you something. How many times have you started over? I mean, I have. How many times have you started over? New goals, new routines, maybe a new mindset, a new exercise plan, only to find yourself right back where you started from. Let's be honest. This morning, it's not that you know what to do. It's not that you're incapable, and it's definitely not that you're stuck. You've just been caught in a cycle of starting over, starting strong, but finishing weak, if you even finish at all. So today, we're going to talk about that. I want to break that off of you because when comfort ends, courage begins. So make your move. Point one today on Midweek Motivation Live, now on all major podcast platforms. Wherever you go to consume your content, personal development content, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, you can find Midweek Motivation Live. That's where you'll find us. We also have the YouTube channel. If you want, I will throw the YouTube channel QR code up on the screen. Let me add that. You can actually scan that right off the screen of your phone, your laptop, or your TV. Wherever you're watching this, you can scan that. That'll take you to our YouTube channel, Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee. We have hundreds of episodes also online and on all of, like I said, the podcast platforms where you can find us. People already tuning in live to watch the show today. Good morning, Cody, Gina. I'm sure we'll have John, Lisa, Mary. Who else is going to be on here? Gary, probably Tammy, Joe, John. Man, there's going to be a bunch of people coming in to watch today, and that just impresses me so much. But I'm going to say hi to all of you as we jump into this. We'll try to get to some comments during the podcast as well. Point one, you're addicted to starting, not committed to finishing. Make sure my banners are working. Yes, you're addicted to starting, not committed to finishing. And this is a problem that many of us have. Listen, let me tell you the truth. You don't have a discipline problem in the beginning. You have a discipline problem in the middle. You jump into a new routine and it starts out great. You love starting over, right? Starting feels powerful. It gives you a sense of control, a burst of hope and inspiration, hopefully, which turns into perspiration. And the illusion that change has already begun. You feel that. You feel that motivation. You feel focus. You tell yourself, this is it. This is the time. This time it's different than the last time. But starting is emotional. Finishing is not emotional. Finishing is intentional. And the moment the excitement starts to fade, the moment the workout becomes tiring, or the job that you're doing becomes repetitive or uncomfortable and quiet, all of a sudden you lose interest. Why is that? Why do you lose interest? It's a pattern that we catch ourselves in, right? The pattern. You're chasing this high of the new beginning instead of embracing the grind of following through, embracing the direction of reminding yourself of what that finishing is going to feel like when you achieve the goal that you have set for yourself. As long as you keep feeding this addiction to the fresh start, you're never going to build anything that lasts. Fresh starts are great and you need those, but real transformation doesn't happen in week one. It happens in the weeks when nobody sees you, when you don't feel like it, and when nothing feels exciting anymore. That's where your future is decided. If you want to break the cycle, stop celebrating the starts and start honoring your consistency, because finishing is where your identity is forged. It's not how you start, people. It's how you finish. It truly is. That's what matters. People won't remember you by how many things you started well. You will be remembered. Your legacy will be the things that you actually accomplished in life, how you made people feel when you left this planet. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you watching as well. I hope you get a brand new car soon. I just saw that my friend Michelle was involved in an accident the other day. And I pray that you are well. Everyone is well. I heard the report was good. No one was injured. but your car. So you're going to get a new car. Amen. Good to see you watching today, Ozzy and Michelle, my good friends. Your identity is forged in how you finish. You will be remembered by the things that you actually accomplished in this life, the people that you're able to bless. Point number 2, your identity hasn't changed, so your results don't either. Ouch. Ouch. You hit me in the heart, Patrick. You can write new goals. You can build new routines. You can say all the right words. I pray to say the right things to you each week that will cause you to get off your buns, your posterior, your glorious throne, and motivate you to do the work, right? Starting right is great. You need to start with a good with a good mindset. And you can tell yourself all the right things, say all of the right affirmations in the mirror. I am successful. I am attractive. Money comes to me. I am blessed and highly favored. I am blessed going in and going out. My storehouse is full. I am blessed in the field. I am blessed in the farm. I am blessed at home. I am blessed at my business. I am blessed. You can say all the right things, but if you still see yourself as inconsistent, undisciplined, or someone who always falls off or fails or quits, your actions will eventually match your belief, the things you tell yourself. You're not going to outperform your identity for long. Who you are on the inside always has to come through to the outside. So you might have a strong week, maybe even a strong month, but you're always going to drift back to what feels familiar if you don't change that. That's why you keep starting over. We're addicted to starting over, a fresh start, a new relationship. But because you haven't made the firm decision about where you are and where you're going, you're trying to act like a disciplined person without believing that you actually are one. And that disconnect will break you every time. It just will. I see it happen in my friends and my family and people I work with. That disconnect, it breaks them. In real estate, we just call it the wave. You just ride the wave up and down, up and down, up and down. You ride, you do some work, and that work turns into business. You get a couple of properties listed and under contract, and you focus on them only, and you ride that wave. Then that wave crests, you close, you sell it, and then all of a sudden you fall down the other side of that wave and you realize you don't have any business because you weren't consistently doing the work while you were focusing on the property that you may have listed or under contract. You weren't doing the work. You weren't disciplined enough to keep making the phone calls, to keep checking your emails, to keep prospecting for more work while you have work. It's called stuffing the pipe in the sales world. Those of you that are in sales know you have to keep stuffing the pipe. If you want a consistent flow of income and blessing out of the other end, you have to consistently do the work to cause that to happen. So those waves are just like little ripples in the water. They're not giant tidal waves that you have to ride. I've got 3 or 4 closings. Wonderful. And then all of a sudden I have to ride that paycheck out until I can get another deal because I wasn't disciplined enough to do the work while I already had some deals, right? And in the restaurant business, those of you that know, Cody and Gina are some of my best friends. They own Fire Slice Pizza, have the best wings in town. Cody's a level 2 sommelier, has some of the best wine in town. You won't find it anywhere. But if he didn't do the work to stay consistent with their production, with the quality of their food, the level of wines, there are people in there selling to them all the time. Why? Because they always want to be on the cutting edge of having the best, of doing the best, of offering the best, producing the best. So you have a consistent flow of people coming through the door. That's how restaurants stay successful. I saw a restaurant for lease last night, and I happened to know the owner, and I actually sent it to another owner of another restaurant looking for a better location. And I'm like, how many of you know that location may have been multiple places in the past? Is it the location's fault, or is it the people who consistently did not do what it took to keep a steady flow of people coming in the door? People that have lasted 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 years in Amarillo, Texas. No, it's because you have to have good customer service, number one, and you have to have a decent product. Customer service being best. You need to be fresh, clean, and fast because that's what people want, and friendly. And if you're not, you can have great food and people won't come back. If you have great food, that's wonderful, but people won't come back if you're rude or your place isn't clean. These are the things that are great. We rented a building. This is wonderful. We opened a restaurant. We advertised the heck out of it, and we had a great start. And then we start losing people, or people don't care about the quality of what they're putting on the plate, or they're rude to a couple of clients. And these people leave in the droves. They're like, okay, we're done. Flash in the pan. Another restaurant failed. So when are you going to draw that line and decide, I am a consistent person. I am a disciplined person. I'm going to follow through and do the right things to stay consistent. This is who I am now. That's what we have to tell ourselves. Not who I was in the past, not based on failures or opportunities that I failed to shine, but based on the standard you refuse to fall below. Because when your identity shifts, your actions follow that, right? Until you change how you see yourself, you're going to keep rebuilding the same life and getting the same results. True story. I hope I'm not being too mean to you today. I hope I'm inspiring you and really having an effect in your life. I really do. Point number 3, you keep negotiating the standard that would set you free. And this is where most people quietly lose. Not in big failures, but in small negotiations. You don't quit all at once. You quit slowly. You ease off. I'll skip today. I'll do it later. I've done enough. I've worked hard for a few days. I'm going to take a few days off. And in that moment, you lower your standards. It feels harmless in the moment. It's like, it's okay. It's just today. It's just this hour. And I'll catch back up tomorrow. It feels harmless, like it's not a big thing, but it's not. Every time you negotiate, you train yourself to break your own word. And once your word to yourself loses value, everything else does as well. Your discipline falls apart. Your goals start to fall off. Your confidence drops. Your discipline weakens. Your progress stalls. It's like, what happened? You don't need a better plan. You don't need a new goal. You don't need a stronger standard. You need a line that doesn't move when you're tired, distracted, or discouraged, or unmotivated, because your life doesn't reflect your intentions. It reflects what you tolerate. And right now, we've been tolerating inconsistency. If you want different results, stop negotiating with the very habits that would set you free, that would set you forward and propel you quantum leaps toward the goal you set for yourself. You decide the standard and let that standard create that in you. You live it. You live it. You live it. Y'all let me know if this is resonating with any of you today. I sure appreciate it. I really do. You have to make the decision, right? You make the decision, then the decision makes you. I need a drink, man. I'm getting dry, a little sore throat today. Drinking my morning kick. Chuck Norris had this created by Roundhouse Provisions. It's got all the good things in it that you need. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm actually sponsored by myself, Patrick Lee Group. There you go, the PLG real estate. And I do this show as just a service to y'all, man. I appreciate you. I need a drink. Chuck Norris sadly passed away unexpectedly a week and a half ago. Good man. I went back and watched a bunch of clips, some of the best clips from some of the movies he was in. One of my favorites, of course, being Lone Wolf McQuade when his Ram Charger comes busting up out of the ground, when he climbs it out of a pit where they buried him alive. And then in The Expendables, where he comes around the corner and kills all the bad guys and rescues Barney and all of his crew from being attacked by the Russian mobsters or whoever they are in that little town. And it's like, who killed all the bad guys? And they turn around and here comes Chuck Norris walking out of a cloud of dust. And I'm like, that's Chuck, man. Chuck had this created to help the health of his wife when she was battling a lot of sickness and disease in her body. It's full of chlorophyll. Roundhouse Provisions. Cody, Gina, I think are taking that with me as well. And I'm taking this called Morning Kick by Roundhouse Provisions. I can put a link in the comments if someone wants to know anything about it. And I'm not sponsored by it, but it's a great product. I take it, drink it every day. Love it. Tastes like raspberry lemonade, not long grass. And then on to point number 4. You've never fully committed. You've only been interested. And you're like, ouch, that's rough. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate that comment. This is the hardest truth. It's the one that will change everything. You haven't fully committed. You may have had a good idea and you put together a little bit of a plan. I love that Guardians of the Galaxy where they're trying to come in and trying to develop a plan of attack. And Star-Lord and Rocket and Groot and all of them are talking about what's the plan. And they're like, "Do you have a plan?" And he goes, "I've got a plan." And they said, "Well, how much of a plan?" And he says, 12% of a plan. That's about 12%. And they're like, 12%? That's not a plan. Hey, listen, maybe that's all you've had is 12% of a plan. Great movie. Go watch Guardians of the Galaxy. It's hilarious. 12% of a plan. It's a good start. Maybe that's all you've had. And that kind of sounds like the topic here. You've been interested in having a plan. You've been interested in setting a goal. You've set a little bit of a goal. You put together part of a plan. You have an interest in growing. You have an interest in changing yourself. You've been interested in becoming a better person. But interest alone is conditional. And interest fades when things get hard. You can't just be interested in change. You have to be committed to change because that doesn't. Commitment says this is who I am now. And this is what I do now. Now, no matter how I feel. There is no backup plan, no exit strategy. No, I'm going to start again next week. When you're truly committed, quitting is no longer an option, right? Burn the boats. That's the whole strategy behind that. Burn the boats. If you burn the boats on the island you've gone to, you're going to conquer the island because there's no way of escape. When quitting is no longer an option, you stop starting over. You stick with the decision you've made and you stay in the fight. You move forward. That's the shift we have to get into our mind. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a 12% of a plan. You need a decision that's final, a decision that removes excuses. It removes negotiation and it removes the possibility of going back because you're addicted to starting over. I can just start again. It'll be all right. Now, if you fall off, do it, right? But the moment you fully commit, everything changes. The day I started writing down my push-ups, and I've also added curls on my whiteboard right here on the wall. So now instead of the push-up column where I count my push-ups every day, now I've added a column of curls as well. And I'm doing multiple sets of curls, right? When you're committed to it and you're tracking it, you can see the results. Your focus sharpens. Your actions align, your identity locks in, and you start telling yourself every day, this is who I am. You know what some of my new identity is? I'm a push-up guy, right? I set the goal of doing 10,000 this year, and I will hit 10,000. I was dividing it up, looking at the numbers yesterday, and I'm still right on track. And there have been days where we've traveled or something happened and I skipped and I did double the next day. I didn't just get back on the horse. I got back on the horse and did double. Today I went over what I needed to do. And each day now I'm challenging myself to do over what I need to do every day. So I'm ahead of the goal. And I would like to hit my goal before this year is over. Wouldn't that be great? And then I'll do even more because I'm changing this identity of who I am, right? My focus is now on what my identity is. I am push-up guy. Y'all are going to start calling me push-up Pat, right? But my actions are going to align with my identity. That identity is locking in on who I am changing into, right? It's who we are becoming. And suddenly, over time, you're not the person who keeps starting over. You're the person who finally follows through. And that's what we're trying to get to. The person who finishes well, right? Let this settle in. You don't need another fresh start. You need to quit being addicted to starting over. You don't need another burst of motivation. Every Wednesday morning, it's great to come back to Midweek Motivation Live, but you don't just need another burst of motivation. What you need is to become the kind of person who doesn't quit, who doesn't negotiate, and who doesn't run back to comfort. Because your life will change the moment you stop starting over and start following through. I believe it. I hope you believe it too. Literally, that's the reason I come back and do this each and every week. Maybe that midweek motivation live Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock is what it takes for you to continue to make it through to the next week. I was listening to my good brother Jason McCutcheon and his podcast this morning, and he's like, "Hey, Wednesday is a church day because people need church on the weekend and they need to come back and get another refill on Wednesday. Extra motivation, extra faith, extra relationship building, right? Midweek Motivation Live, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. is your extra motivational step for you to come back and join in with some other people that are all on this journey to becoming a better version of ourselves through faith, through alignment with like-minded people, and through this show. I appreciate it, man. It really, really, really does me well for people to come back and listen, because as I'm teaching you, I'm teaching myself. We're all on this journey of becoming the better person that God created us to be. And I really appreciate it. It does mean the world to me. Thank you for joining me on Midweek Motivation Live today. I do appreciate it. Listen, if this message challenges you, if it resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep walking in your calling. Listen, I've changed our tagline. I've changed our tagline from courage begins at the end of your comfort zone to when comfort ends, courage begins. So make your move. And that's what we're going to say from now on. When comfort ends, courage begins. So make your move. That's what I'm challenging you to do today. I'll see you next week on Midweek Motivation Live. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.